doesn't change in a workers' co-op. You still have people who are giving advice, people who say, hey, maybe that's not the right idea. I think the difference is
he should have, as soon as Ludwig, like, that was a pretty aggressive thing. I also don't understand Graham's point here, and Ludwig should be able to push back on this, unless I'm truly just not understanding something. Again, the company wouldn't be buying back the equity. It's not like a stock buyback or something. Well, no, actually, hold on. Let me think about this for a moment.
There is a problem in New York right now, I think, with all the immigrant shit. How are they going to even remotely deal with it? What other crazy drama is going on in your life right now?
I have some spice for you guys.
Yeah, cool.
So a big focus of mine, you asked me about my goals, is 50,000 members, running a marathon, and also making off-brand profitable. But one thing I'm also doing, which you might find this controversial, is I'm making off-brand a workers' co-op. And I'm making every employee own some of it, and then also blocking any VCs from being able to own it or have any voting shares in it. And the big shift, for anyone who doesn't know, is rather than like a board or like...
Why not just do profit sharing? It just feels like such an easier way to operate a company.
You know, just straight up owner. It is every person who works there getting a vote for like major decisions, right? Like maybe what we make production of, or, you know, if we hire someone or whatever it is. And so that's the big shift I'm making, in hopes of having off-brand not just be like a company that makes me a fucking huge check, but is something that lasts and improves the lives of everyone in it for 10, 20, 30 years.
Does each vote count equally? Like, does the intern have the same vote, or the person who's been there for a month have the same voting weight as someone who's been there for 2 years?
There's an onboarding process, so it's not like you sneak in and you get a vote in the first week or something.
Yeah.
Usually you have to have some sort of 6-month whatever before you have a vote that is equal to everybody else's. But yeah, it's one worker, one vote.
I think it's high risk, high reward. I personally wouldn't do that. But then again, I believe there
I figured you wouldn't.
To me, it seems like there are too many cooks in the kitchen.
The way it works right now, there's still a board of directors who are doing the main day-to-day operations, because you don't want to do a fucking vote for every minute decision. But everyone gets to vote on what is representing that board, who's on that board, right? And then, you know, that board might turn over if they're making bad decisions, and it'll be turned over by the employees, not by some VC who's pushing them out because they're not making the right decisions, or just someone who has more power or ownership or whatever.
No, I wouldn't do it, but then again, I tend to believe that it's best to have one decision maker, and who that person could hear out all the perspectives, but they have a vision for it and they know where they're going. And I think in doing so, they're going to lead the team in the right direction.
I think it's still my job.
Yeah.
I think that's still what I have.
They have a vision for it and they know where they're going. And
Sorry, because I'm in podcast studio mode. I notice things now. Is the f-stop on this camera poor? It feels like he's out of focus and he's in focus. Do you notice that? Are they unable to focus on both at the same time?
One decision maker, and who that person could hear out all the perspectives, but they have a vision for it and they know where they're going. And I think in doing so, they're going to lead the team in the right direction.
I think it's still my job.
Yeah.
I think it's still what I have to do.
Okay.
It's my vision, it's my ideas that is pushing a lot of it forward. But
to be fair, he's doing what you said these guys should do if they care about socialism. No, yeah, I mean, if you really do, that's fine. I'm not a socialist, and I think it's a bad way to run a company.
it's also possible that that one person starts sucking. And it's oftentimes really hard in a traditional company, if that person owns most of it, to get them out.
Yes, but I also think it's important for that one person to be open to criticism. And that's something that, I'd say me and Jack have a good one, where if I'm going down a certain direction, Jack has no problem telling me, hey, I don't like this direction, or I think if you go this way, we're going to come up with a wall 2 years from now and you're going to be at that point, so let's go around it here. I think if you're open to those sort of suggestions, I think that can kind of overcome someone like, CEO sucking.
I think that's still the case, right? That doesn't change in a workers' co-op. You still have people who are giving advice, people who say, hey, maybe that's not the right idea. I think the difference is it has, in my mind, a higher chance of surviving long-term and also being a better company to work for everyone who's making the fucking thing turn.
So what happens if people leave? What happens to their equity?
They sell back.
At what price? At a price that who assigns?
The price of the value of the company at the time.
Yeah, who buys it though? Does that mean that every single person in the company then has to fork over money for every time somebody wants to leave? Or when you hire a new employee, do they have to buy into the company? They must have to, right? I guess if you wanted to be really technical about it, you could slowly over time allot shares and just reduce their pay as they slowly pay for it. Maybe.
Who decides that though?
The value of the company?
Yeah, it could be an arbitrary number.
I mean, you don't make it up. You get it appraised like you would any other company, right?
It sounds like a hassle.
Get appraised like you would any other company. I think appraising companies when they're not publicly traded is actually quite difficult. No, there's a lot of different formula that people might rely on, 7x revenue or some multiplier of assets and whatever, or employee. I've seen a ton of ways to go about it, but the idea that doing that is easy or simple on the fly, This is about ownership, not salary. Yeah, you fucking retard. But if you go to work for a co-op, you have to buy into the ownership. If you work for a company and you're going to give some of that ownership to a new employee, they need to pay you for it. You're not going to give that away for free.
Every time an employee leaves that they get it appraised, what if they disagree with the appraiser?
I think there's minor problems that people like to poke holes in for a workers' co-op, but most of them are pretty tried and true. And it's not like it's a...
I don't think that's true at all. I don't know if there are, at least in America, I don't know if there are any successful large-scale co-ops. Maybe smaller ones, like if you count like a startup. Like a lot of tech startups are kind of like that, I guess. Whether you're like paying everybody in equity or something, maybe, I don't know.
New thing, right? There are 3,000 employed companies that are workers' co-ops that have solved
I would be so curious to hear about these. Like Mondragon, I don't even think they work in the same structure that people think for co-ops.
it. So it's not...
But for a smaller company, let's say Joe leaves, and Joe says, my portion is valued at $200,000, let's just say. And the company is valued at that. But giving that person $200,000 would take money out of the company and hurt the company by this person leaving and you having to pay them out. Because that's money now coming out of the business.
Sure.
So I see that as a slight issue. Like a lot of these companies are completely illiquid. Like smaller companies, they don't have liquidity. It's you lock in, and that...
Well, careful. The money wouldn't... Oh, hold on. How would this work? The money wouldn't be coming from the business, right? The money would be coming from other owners who are increasing their equity in the business. If two people owned a business that was worth $1 million and one person wanted to leave, so the first person had to pay out that guy and pay him $500,000, the money wouldn't necessarily come from the business, right? The money would come from the individual who's buying out the equity stake in the company from the other guy. The money wouldn't technically be coming from the business, it'd be coming from the other owners, right?
valuation is there until you go public.
There are grocery stores that are employee owned, but who knows back end? Yeah, but that's different. These are huge companies with tens of thousands of shares. And don't they just basically give you a few shares and you're like, oh, employee owned, right? Like REI calls itself a co-op. I don't know what REI is. I don't know what that means. REI co-op brand gear and clothing. You basically know with pleb Israel-Palestine debates. If not, I can push back on all of your points you brought up in the Lex debate if you're free some next week. If you want to, like tomorrow or the day after, Axel, sure. Because another guy wanted me to talk to him about it too. Maybe you guys can both come on at once.
A lot of these companies are completely illiquid. Like smaller companies, they don't have liquidity. It's you lock in, and that valuation is there until you go public. And then there's a cash out.
I'm not so fearful of the ghost arguments that don't exist. You know, like
I think that. Well, I mean, the chance.
Oh, fuck. I know these guys. I DM these guys, and I feel so bad that I mixed their names up because I'm trying to ask. I'm so curious how much Graham knows about like formal like business structures or finance versus just like running a small business. I'm not trying to say he has no knowledge or he's an idiot or whatever. I'm just curious about because Ludwig saying that these are like ghost arguments or they're not like a concern. These would actually be the primary issues. Like imagine you've got a co-op with 10 people and you want to hire new employees. That's a really big deal, right? Hiring employees is a really big deal. We can walk through some examples here. Let's just do we'll just do a 4-person co-op, okay? Let's say that you've got 4 people. All of these people are 25% owner. All these people are 25% owners, okay? They all have a 25%, 1/4 the company. Let's say that you have a business that's worth $1 million, okay? Well, if you want to hire another person, now we're gonna simplify this and say that, wait, can anyone tell me why Destiny referring to Hamas as a Shia organization is such a disqualifying comment? It seems like a stupid mistake. Honestly, because I honestly don't know. I don't even know right now. Like I've been told that they're a Sunni organization, so I know that, but I don't know how that factors in or plays into any of the on the ground stuff that Hamas does. I don't know if that's like a relevant part of their extremist ideology, whether they're Shia or Sunni, because they're Sunni extremists, but they work with Iran, which is a Shia country. So I've never heard of it. It doesn't come up much, I don't think. Okay, so let's say that I've got a company. It's worth $1 million. Let's say 25% here. Okay, 25% equity on each of these owners. Let's say that let's say that we think that this company can go big. Okay, this company could go big. This company could be worth $10 million. But now let's say we're having a debate on whether or not we should hire another employee to help it go big. Well, a lot of weird things now are going to happen in hiring this employee. So here's a couple things. If we hire this employee, okay, all of us are losing our equity by 5%. So now this guy is going to be brought in, and he's going to have 20% equity. So now we brought in this guy who's now going to have 20% equity. In order for this guy to join our company, he's going to have to pay us $200,000, right? Because if I've got 25% equity in $1 million company, well, if he's going to buy out 5% of each of our equity, each of us are going to have to get paid out $50,000. So he's going to have to pay $200,000 to join the company if he wants to buy out our stakes. And now, if this company does manage to explode in valuation, right, and now the company's worth $10 million, well, now I have a 20% share of this $10 million company, which is $2 million. Whereas before, if I disagreed and it could have grown anyways, I would have had $2.5 million. Now I've lost out on $500,000 of equity because I let this employee buy in for as a co-op, right? What I'm describing right here, this is like a very, very, very basic structure, very basic example for a co-op. People will act like these are fringe examples, but no, this would be this is just how co-ops in these like very theoretical forms would work. I don't know how you address problems like this. Like, let's say these two guys are like, wait, hold on, I don't want to fucking hire another dude and get my equity up. We can just work harder. Fuck this is bullshit, right? Is this how co-ops usually work? I think co-ops actually work. They use like way more sophisticated or complicated or obfuscated payment schemes, and it ends up being a lot different. But yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know how you would solve for this. I'm not sure. Does everyone necessarily have to maintain equal ownership in the entity? You don't have to, but then you're getting into other weird questions. So for instance, let's say that you don't have equal ownership. Let's say that instead, we all maintain our 25% equity, and then this guy comes in at 4%, right? Okay, well, that's fine. He can come in at 4% equity, and now at least all of us have 24% equity. But when we go to vote on things, this guy doesn't get the same voting power. No, we have 6 times the voting power because all of us have 24% equity. This motherfucker has 4% equity. He's not going to get the same vote as me. Why the fuck should some guy that has a smaller controlling share of the company and less at risk because if the company gets fucked, he's risking a lot less money than us, right? So now everybody can't have the same vote. So if you want to bring people in at different equity shares, which is most likely what would happen, not everybody's going to have the exact same cut of equity. Well, now you can't give everybody one vote because if I have 99% equity of a company, I've got 100 employees at 1% equity altogether, you're not going to get the same vote as me. I've got way more to lose, right? So I don't know how this would ever work. I'm not sure. I've never heard good answers to any of this before.
Companies, they don't have liquidity. It's you lock in, and that valuation is there.
I love when Destiny talks out of his ass. Bry A, go! What did I just say that was wrong? Bry A in YouTube chat. Let's go. Destiny, there was an anarcho-syndactylist co-op game dev studio, but they ditched it for capitalism due to scaling. Google, Vice, Evil Empire. Cute. Anyway.
Until you go public. And then there's a cash out.
Arguments that don't exist, you know, like
I think that I mean the chances of all the employees staying with you the entire time.
He should have, as soon as Ludwig, like that was a pretty aggressive thing. Ghost argument. This isn't a real thing. Graham should have went really hard here. Oh, how are you going to hire new employees? That's a super basic thing. How are you going to hire new employees? How are employees going to leave the company? 2 very, very, very basic questions.
Be turnover.
It's not about the employees staying with me the entire time. You're just talking about a very real thing that comes up, and it's not a problem. It's just something that happens, right? So it's like, do you know the company Mondragon?
No.
It's funny because I'm speaking from very limited experience here. There's not a company, Mondragon. That is a federation of a whole bunch of different co-ops and a whole bunch of different things. So anytime somebody cites Mondragon, he got this talking point from Hassan, guaranteed. Or from my Richard Wolff debate that he unfortunately watched some of. But he got this from Hassan. Because everybody brings up Mondragon and they don't know anything about it. But I'm speaking with very, very low confidence. No, I'm speaking like 40% confidence here, okay? When you're working, especially in like the tech podcaster world where you don't have a concrete product or even software, valuations of companies are really hard. It's very, very, very difficult. Like for instance, let's say I wanted to sell my company, the Destiny brand, to somebody. How the fuck would you value that? Well, I would have to stay on. You'd retain me for at least 2 years, if not longer, because how the fuck do you make my brand work without me, right? How do you value an ownership? Do you go by all of my revenue? Does it include like all the sponsorships and everything, even though I can do those or not do those? Are you going to have like, it's a really complicated question. If you wanted to buy a podcast, how would you value that? Would you just look at revenue from advertising deals? Like, it's a really, 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 really complicated thing to do. So the idea that like, well, it's so trivial to just, if somebody wants to leave or join, well, we just appraise the company and then buy them out or, have them, like, that's a pretty challenging thing to do.
thing that comes up, and it's not a problem. It's just something that happens.
Well, if you want it done right, it's hard. Can definitely get a rough number relatively easily unless the business is dependent on a single person. Well, can't tax man, sure. But like if people are buying in or leaving, and there's a lot of people with different equity at stake, I think you would want to be really sure on the number. I don't think I would want like a rough number in like this kind of startup-y podcast world. I want to make sure I'm getting paid out correctly. I don't want some bullshit ass estimate. Yeah.
Right? So it's like, do you know the company Mondragon?
No.
It's a Spanish company, and they do everything. They do like produce. They do like business. They're in a lot of sectors.
Yeah.
This company has 1,500, 2,000 employees. They're a workers' co-op. They've solved it. So it's not like, they had this problem.
Okay. Again, Mondragon is not a company. It's like it's kind of a company, but it's like a federation of a whole bunch of different companies underneath them. It's kind of like saying like Nestle. Would that be an example? It's like a company. Or no, because I think Nestle might directly make things. Would you call Mondragon a holding company? Oh, look, we probably even looked this up before, or maybe not. Is a corporation and federation of worker co-ops based in the Basque region of Spain. It is a massive entity. 81,000 people. Okay, at the end of 2016, it employed 74,000 people in 257 companies and organizations in 4 areas of activity: finance, industry, retail, and knowledge.
Where they had a bunch of Joes, and then they went bankrupt because they couldn't pay out the Joes. This company has 1,500, 2,000 employees. They're a workers' co-op.
I don't know where he gets that number from, but
they've solved it.
Can you explain how does that point discredit his point? Because Mondragon is not just like a co-op that just works well because it's a co-op. It's a pretty complicated structure, federated structure with a lot of different businesses and corporations and things working beneath it that doesn't adhere to like a strict co-op model or is predictive of whether your particular co-op will work. It's a huge structure of like a bunch of different things.
So it's not like, they had this problem where they had a bunch of Joes.
Also, if Mondragon is your template for this, then you wouldn't say Mondragon makes it work. You would say Mondragon does XYZ. This is what I'm going to do, XYZ, because they do X, Y, and Z. Generally, most employees, in my understanding of co-ops, would be provided nominal shares in the co-op, entitling them to their singular vote. They would stream a percentage of the profits from the co-op to each person as a bonus. The overall value of the co-op and buy-in likely wouldn't be assigned to individual members. Sure, can't tax man. I understand what you're saying there, but then like, at some point, this is why I said before, why not just do like profit sharing or like a stock option program or, like distribute shares to, like, it feels like this is just like so much easier. Like, why not just do that? And then that structure makes sense. It's easy as fuck. Hiring and firing people, all of that is so easy. Why do it as a co-op? That makes it so much more complicated, I think.
And then
also keep in mind too, somebody brings this up in Kick Chat. He doesn't want just worker owned. He also wants worker managed. And it sounded like he was saying one employee, one vote, which is also very iffy, but
they went bankrupt because they couldn't pay out the Joes.
Please say it right. Is it Mondragon? Mondragoon? I don't fucking.
Just systems put in place to take care of Joe and take care of the company.
It's similar to certain real estate syndications where you pay into it, and if you want to cash out, and you're in it with like even 100 other people, they say no, you can't cash out. If we come up with the resources and we could buy you out or we find a replacement, you can, but you're locked in until we sell it. And so I see something very similar to that.
I also don't understand Graham's point here, and Ludwig should be able to push back on this, unless I'm truly just not understanding something. Again, the company wouldn't be buying back the equity. It's not like a stock buyback or something. No, actually, hold on. Let me think about this for a moment. Could it kind of be like a stock buyback? Okay, you've got 5 people. All of them have 20% equity in a company. One guy wants to sell his equity back to... Who is he selling the equity back to if he wants to be paid out? Would it be to the company or would it be to the 4 other equity holders? My company's worth $1 million. Why is it worth $1 million? What does it say it's worth $1 million? 5 people, all of a 20% split. One person wants to leave. I'm leaving the company. Who do you sell? You would sell your shares back to the company. But if you sell your shares back to the company, it's effectively the same thing. Because if you were to sell your shares back to the company, you would have to extract $200,000 from the company. If you're an equity holder in the company, you could capitalize the company by $50,000 each, and then you would gain that value back in the equity ownership you have. So each of the 4 people would transfer money to the company, and the company would buy out the shares. Is that how it would work? Or would you sell your equity to the other people? Generally, Destiny, most co-ops, to my knowledge, would have upper management direct the strategy. This recommended strategy would be voted on by members and generally accepted unless upper management is viewed as incompetent against them. Non-co-op businesses effectively do this too. It's just a board of directors of the employees that give the CEO their mandate. But if your employees are shareholders, the board also represents well, and profit sharing, like you said, is easier. Yeah. Well, the reason why he's trying to avoid, remember, the board of directors is evil because in their world, board of directors equals non-worker owners. And when you're a Marxist, non-worker owners are literally fucking Satan. So that's what he's trying to avoid. You don't want a board of directors making decisions. You want a board of workers making decisions because they're workers and they own the means of production. That's what they're, right? No, Destiny, no. The company would have to sell things to pay out, not the individual shareholders. But you wouldn't want the company to sell things to pay out, right? Because if the company sold things to pay out, wouldn't your equity stake go down? Destiny, you missed my super chat. Who, Alfab? What did you say? Did I miss it? At Destiny, board of directors are not necessarily even owners, though. You don't need shares to be a director. Don't board of directors represent shareholders, though? I guess you might not necessarily need ownership to be on the board, but the board should represent the shareholders. Like the shareholders should be able to vote. There should be some mechanism for voting. So if you're on the board and you have no ownership at all, and the shareholders don't like you, they could vote you out and kick you the fuck out, right? Or you could be a big owner too, but Destiny always misses the super chats. No, I don't. Can you vote out the founder and the board? Well, if you wanted to vote out the board and it was an equity owner, you would have to buy his shit back if you kicked him out, right? Destiny, it was from the Donnie, the missed super chat. We'll just say what the super chat was. Destiny, my dad died 8 months ago. Thank you for always providing good content these past few months. Holy shit, you're welcome. Your dad might have been the one guy with the key piece of evidence of Katie getting raped, and now that he's gone 8 months ago, we'll never know what really happened. I'm just kidding, I love you, I'm sorry. Destiny, has Destiny anyone else ever compiled a list of misconceptions like stuff Norm has lied about such exaggerated in his books? No, I don't think anybody has. Or at least I'm not aware of it. You could remove somebody from the board without removing from the company though, right? Could you? If I had 40% equity ownership in a company and then I was removed from board and I wasn't allowed to make decisions about it, I feel like you're effectively, I would want to sell all my shit and leave, right? I guess this all probably depends on like the charter or the structure of the company or whatever. I don't know. This is too deep into corporate structure. I don't have good answers here. I'm not sure. I don't even know much about like how the composition of the board or where these people necessarily come from or how the voting works. I can speak in like generalities, but shareholders can remove directors by a shareholders resolution, but that's not particularly easy as a majority vote is needed. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if you own stock in a company, I think you can assign your voting rights to people on the board as well, right? Like if a bunch of people have stock in like Walmart, you don't usually vote for your stocks, but I think that depending on your brokerage or your broker, depending on your broker is an individual, brokerage is the institution, depending on your brokerage, the value or the voting rights of your particular shares, if you don't execute them or exercise them, they're automatically assigned to other people, like representatives or whatever that vote instead, I think. I don't know. Go look it up. But anyway.
That sort of circumstance with you. I think it's different if you're a big established company with consistent profits. And if one person comes in and out, you have the liquidity and the arsenal to, inject them with money, find a replacement. But I think on the smaller scale, when you're growing, it becomes difficult. If you have any sort of turnover, it's money coming out of the business that becomes difficult to replace. Especially if you're not in a position where you could pay them out.
Sure. Operating it hasn't been an issue.
Okay.
In any of them.
I believe operations.
Wait, well, is it actually a co-op already? Have they already done this? Or do they just have a bunch of employees like, guys, we're a co-op, and they don't have like a formal operating agreement yet?
I think people will be
The super chat said, if you want to talk with people about IP debate in the future and they discredit you, please ask them with what point, Benny, they think they disagree with you. Oh, sure, yeah.
But I think
I
think the logistics, yeah.
In the past year, this hasn't been an issue.
Okay.
But if it comes up, I'll come calling.
Okay. let's report back 5 years from now.
I'm
You
down.
tell me how it's going.
Yeah.
I'd love for it to work.
Yeah, I think it will.
Thanks so much for coming
Thanks,
on,
man.
Ludwig. It's always a pleasure to see you,
Well,
man.
Appreciate
As
you.
usual.
Will be in the description. So
18
let's
months,
get you to
we'll
50,000
reunite again.
members.
Sounds good to
Let's
me,
do it.
man.
Appreciate you guys.
Sweet.
Thanks.
Thanks, man.
What do you not know about immigration?
I don't know.
Yeah, I just said that.
It's just knowing more formal facts just helps you arrange your mind better. Here's something that I didn't know. Okay, that was stupid. That irritated me. I don't think even most people know this. Do you know what catch and release is?
For fishing? Yes, I do.
Good
That's
one.
when you catch the fish and you let it go.
Do you know what catch and release is for immigration?
I assume it's when you find someone.
Okay, so a lot
that-
of Republicans, and this is
I
a talking
didn't get
point,
the
I believe this
answer.
for a long time, assume that like when there's a law that says that when an immigrant comes to the U.S. seeking asylum, and you catch them and you find that they say, oh, well, I'm going to look for asylum, like I'll come back to court in 9 months, and then you release them into the United States, basically unmonitored. That's what quote unquote catch and release is. I thought that was like a law, and it seems like really dumb to me. Like, I don't know why you would do that. It seems like for a variety of reasons, it's really stupid. And in all of like 5 minutes of reading, I find out that like, oh, catch and release isn't a law. It's stupid. Catch and release is basically an informal name given to like a whole series of policies that make it really complicated in terms of like how we deal with people that come to the border, what you arrest people for, what you don't arrest people for, what you let people stay for, what you don't let people, like, so stuff like that, knowing that there's not like a catch and release law that Democrats support, as opposed to like a complicated collection of policies and shit. Yeah, I don't know. There's a ton of random shit like that for immigration that would just be nice to learn, I guess.
Do you think that we have an immigration problem right now on the borders? Are you nervous about it? Do you think that like a Sicario moment is coming where infiltrators from terrorist country X are coming in through the Mexican border and are going to do some fucking wild shit with help from Syria or Iran or something like that?
The problem is that more and more of the things that are happening in this country feel like people's opinions come from other people's opinions and are more and more disconnected from the reality of what's happening. For instance, well, like as a quick real life meme, like who won the debate between Finkelstein and Ween versus Destiny and Betty Morris? Seems like who won the debate just depends on which particular influencer you watch and what they said about it. You don't actually form an opinion about it. It's what other people told you to form an opinion about. It feels like that's happened with the economy for about a year, that a lot of people were saying the economy's fucked and it's super horrible and blah, blah, blah. And coming out of 2020, 2021, for a while, inflation was a massive problem, and it definitely was an issue. But for the most part, a lot of those issues have alleviated, but people will still feel a certain way about it depending on their political affiliation, who they listen to. And I get that feeling for immigration a lot as well, that we've heard of a border crisis and that illegal immigrants are going to destroy this country. For my entire life, I've heard that. But like every single econ paper, every single finance, every single research, every single thing, like just seems to show that even fiscally, meaning when it comes to state and federal budgets, illegal immigrants are at worst a wash. So financially, they don't seem to affect us. Economically, they seem to help. And then I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to argue because it's a lot of people have really strong feelings about it, but it's hard to find it in the data.
So let me try to address a few things. So one, on the debate performance, on if you won or if you lost, I think maybe you're saddened by the fact that like it seems like no one was converted. Like you're not seeing a lot of like, oh, I used to be this. I mean, or if you do see that, it's obvious BGG plant saying the obvious shit. Like, oh yeah, I was a Palestinian, savior, and man, Destiny
Well,
sure
no,
won.
yeah,
and
that'll never happen from those things. The comments
Yeah.
that I see that I like, that I think are really good, which ironically, looping way back around, was like my initial goal that I kind of abandoned, was a lot of people saying like, wow, Norman Finkelstein seems really hinged. I don't understand why this guy was so crazy. Those are the comments that I'm kind of seeing. Like,
Sure. So what I would say to that is that I think there's very few people that are not already set in their ways. And the best analogy I can give to this is that I feel like me and you are people that when I'm going to buy something, like not from a store, but like let's say like you're you're at a crafts market or something, and it's common to barter or something along those lines. I don't want to deal with all that shit. Or if I'm selling something and I put it on Craigslist, right? And I'm like, I'm selling this for $500. I don't want to have to play the game of you're like, okay, how about 450? And I'm like putting all this in here. I want to just say literally, hey, the price is $500 firm. That's it. That's the end of the story. But the problem is, okay, is that too many people are absolutely set in the ways of how things are, which means even though you want it to be that you did win in this debate objectively and clearly, and you had facts and you weren't going out there and doing ad homs and things like that, it doesn't matter. Okay, you have to play the game.
Well, I think it super matters, but okay.
Well, it only matters to people that were already going to be in that case. It's just that's kind of how it is, right? Like you may want to just be able to list this for $500 and get someone who's like, okay, here you go. But no matter what, people are going to say, how about 450? And that's just it. That analogy matters here because no matter what you did, no matter how much of a blowout it's going to be, the people that are on the other side are just going to be like, they're not going to be like, you know what? God damn, Destiny, he was right, man. Yeah, Viva Israel. It's just never going to happen, ever. There's no one. I feel like there's a very small window out there where people are able to be influenced one way or the other on a subject. And once they have even remotely set their mind on something, that it's going to be almost a monumental path to push them back the other way. And I think that anyone that's watching a debate between Destiny and Norman Finkelstein is so far already down the path of ideological whatever that it's just entertainment, which is fine. So yeah.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
I disagree with every single point, but
Well,
I
you're
respect
wrong.
your opinion.
No, it's okay. But you're wrong.
Okay, base.
What was the other thing you were bitching about? There is a problem in New York right now, I think, with all the immigrant shit. How are they going to even remotely deal with it?
What's
You have
going on
any
in New
thoughts on
York
that?
right now? Are you talking about like crime stuff or?
No, there's just like a ton of people that are unhoused because of I don't want to say because of immigration. Are they busing them in there or something? The migrants. It's just like it's a crazy fucking situation going on in New York right now. So crazy that the leaders out there who were saying, "Oh yeah, give us migrants. We love it." Now they're like, "Whoa, we're full. F off." So what's the solution to that problem out there? And how do you deal with that?
I don't know. This is like I said. I always have to look up like what's actually going on. I don't trust any like recollection that I see in the news to see if it's actually a problem or not. So I can't speak to like. I can't speak to it. I have no idea.
So you have no thoughts on it whatsoever?
Nope.
Oh, all right.
I don't know anything about it. I don't know. What about it?
You tell me, motherfucker. It's your stream. I don't know. What do you think? How are they going to deal with it? Speculate.
I don't even
Say
know what the
something.
problem is. Do they just have too many people or?
Oh my! Yes, there's too many people. That's the problem.
Well, that sounds like they got to get rid of some of them then.
Oh, okay. Well, fucking Israel Steve back at it again. There you go.
There you
That's
go,
your
I
solution
gotcha.
to everything, isn't it?
There you go. Yep, get rid of them. We call that ethnic. We do a little ethnic cleansing. Boom.
Oh, you don't help yourself, do you?
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Uh-huh.
Is that okay? Can I think for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, immigration. What else is interesting about immigration right now? Do you think that immigration should be merit-based?
No.
How do you think it should be based? Where? Because right now I think it's a certain amount of quota per country, I believe. Like every country can have a certain amount of visas that come in. I don't even know if that's adjusted. It must be adjusted per the population of the country, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would just depend on what the needs of your country are, right?
Hold on one second. Hey, all you f***ing dipshits. They're like, "What? Dan's wasting time until Turkey talk." It's not f***ing happening today, you stupid f***. All right? He already said he's not covering it today because he wants you to go watch it on his other channel. So shut the up. Go watch something else if you don't like it, okay? Go watch the Turkey Tom thing on his own channel. You're just so stupid, okay? People just show up here and they're like, I'm here. What's going on? If I don't know it, it's news to me. Just read, listen, read the room.
True.
Sorry,
You got it.
I remember how much of this I hate.
Yeah.
No, actually, wait. No, you know what? That Turkey Tom thing is coming right up. Stay here. Don't worry. It's coming soon. Just chill. It'll be here in a minute. Just wait. What were we talking about with immigration again? Yeah. How does that work? Is it per capita or what? I don't know.
What do you mean per capita?
Yeah,
what do you mean? Is it per? I don't know what you mean when you say that.
Actually do need to do immigration research. You know fucking nothing.
What do you mean? How does it work? How does it work? Is it per capita? What does that mean, Dan? Break down what that question means. Break down what that question means for me. Yeah.
Okay. Here's what it means. There's like 500 people in like some Micronesian, Polynesian island. Okay. Obviously, all 500 of them can't immigrate here at once and do that, right? The U.S. is probably like, hey, we're only going to take 5 of you a year because that's it, the percentage or something, right? Versus people that want to come in from China. Oh, much bigger number. Yeah, because there's more people there. I assume that's how it is. Is it? Steve doesn't know. Steve knows nothing about immigration. Steve does need to do immigration research. Actually, here's a better question. What do you know about immigration? I'd love to know. Can you tell me what you do know? Because there's so much you don't know. It's shocking.
Basically.
So you know nothing. It's people coming here. That's the knowledge that you have.
That's about it. Yep.
People come to America.
Yep.
And some of them don't fill out the paperwork. We know that part also.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we're going to do research on it. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah. What about you, Dan? What do you know about immigration?
I know more than you about immigration.
Tell us, inform us. Tell us a little bit of stuff.
No, I don't want to do it anymore because I feel like you don't
anymore?
deserve it.
You were doing it before?
No, I felt like educating you before. Now I want to just see you look like a moron so that Hassan can clip it and show the world who you really are. That's what I want.
Okay. It's pretty based.
He doesn't even know, Hassan, anything about immigration. Nothing. Look at him. I've asked him the simplest of questions. Nothing. He didn't even know where Israel was 6 months ago. He was pointing to like China on the map.
True and based.
Okay. Well, are you gambling? Is this for real money?
No, it's a stupid fucking game, you dipshit.
What website is it on?
It's a game, so it's not on a website. You download a program on your computer, commonly called an executable.
Oh, sorry.
Steam, and then you run it, and then
so
you
much
play
of
a
a
game.
sellout in the last year. I just assumed it was stake.com, and I was trying to give you an opportunity to sell your master. But my bad.
Is that so?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a game?
Yeah, you know the normal poker is a game too, right?
Yeah, I'm
like that's what cards are. They're games. It's games of cards.
I understand that.
It's a game. Card a game.
There's just so many. Can
game.
You like tower defense or something? This looks like the worst game ever.
Uh-huh. You're a fantastic moron, Dan.
No, that's not true. It's not true, by the way. So, in case you were thinking that.
Dan literally thinks the world do visas the same. Oof. You just got destroyed by that dono.
Who said that? Ban that guy.
It was a super chat, so no banning. He just owned you. Despacito.
Dan literally thinks the world do visas the same. It's not even a good sentence. And I don't think that. And I was asking a question. And you're stupid, and you can only come up with $1.99.
Oof.
Yeah. You should raise the minimum amount for a super chat.
It's $5, no? Wow, Lamon Addy, thanks for subbing.
That guy just did $1.99.
Oh, I just don't read those. Fuck.
You just read it.
Oh, was that a $1.99 one? Oh, then
Yes.
I probably just read it because I was making fun of you. Sorry.
Oh, great. All the abuse is back. Like, I feel like I had in my mind, it's like, okay, I'm going to take a break. And these are the reasons why. And now I'm here and I'm like, those were not the reasons why. And I'm understanding all of the pieces. They're all coming to me back in full force.
Why is it a bad thing that Destiny wants to do research before making any statements? Ooh, good question, Dan.
Oh, well, that's an easy one. It's because he claims to be a political fucking commentator and doesn't know the most basic thing about immigration ever. Alan, the quest seeker.
Jeez.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I am interested in immigration right now. Will you answer some interesting immigration questions? Or are you going to be on a Wikipedia article reading about how it's going to be that? It's going to be something very fucking boring that no one cares about. It's not going to be cool shit, is it?
It's research, so it's probably going to be pretty boring. Yes.
How do you think the United States determines who gets to come into the country legally?
Right now, I have no fucking idea. My guess is there's probably a certain amount of immigrants that we accept per year. It probably does go by country. That would be my guess. Like, we probably accept more legal immigrants from countries with larger populations, maybe. I know that you could do certain types of visas that let certain skilled workers in, like H-1Bs. If companies sponsor them. I know that you let people in based on family ties and whatnot, but...
Yes, I mean, yeah, there's chain migration, for sure. And
Wow. Destiny v Norm and a steel cage at WrestleMania. Good donation, my dude. Go ahead.
it's like a 3 out of 10 on the donation funny scale.
Yeah.
Wow, Destiny versus Norm fighting. Not that good. Yes, chain migration is one they do. So if you're legally here, you can bring in your mother if she's in another country, and from then that mother can bring in any other kids they have. That is a type of immigration that we have. I don't know if it's limited. But there's another type of immigration where there's the green card lottery, right? We know about that.
Okay. There's like a small
On-
number of green cards that are given out randomly, but that's a pretty small number of things, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's something we could find out.
Okay.
So there's a green card lottery where if you win it, do you have to get a job? Do you just get to come here? And it's like, YOLO, fuck it, I'm moving to America. I don't know the answer to that. I know that there's green card workers, people who are in another country, and a company will apply for them to come and work here. So, like, if you want to bring someone from India to come work for Microsoft, Microsoft has to do certain things before they can give that person a green card. And I think one of the things they have to do is they have to prove that they're unable to find someone that can do that job already in America.
Yep.
So there's that. But apparently, we're still doing a lot of green card immigration, which doesn't make sense, because I feel like, can there be that many positions that we're getting from India, for instance, from Microsoft, that they just couldn't find someone in America? Is that possible?
Oh,
The answer is no, of course, right?
Yeah, the anti-H-1B arguments are, yeah.
But in the same part, it is good. It's good to do brain drain from other countries of their most talented people, correct?
I mean, arguably, yeah, getting more... Basically, immigrating anybody to the country is almost always good. Yeah. People have a hard time
Do you think
accepting
so?
that.
You think all immigration, regardless of any other aspects, is good?
Generally, almost, yeah. If you look at an economy, labor is like one of your largest supplies, one of your most important inputs, and increasing labor. People will say things like, "Oh, well, it should only be high-skilled immigrants come in. Even low-skilled immigrants come in are a boon to the economy." Like that's just like, it's a really basic economic fact. People have a really hard time accepting that, but it's just true. You increase the supply of labor, increase your customer base, like you're almost always increasing the economy of a particular country. Yeah.
What do you think the ratios should be on that front, right? Like, obviously, there's a certain amount of skilled labor that you're allowing in a lot of.
Do you understand? You're asking me like incredibly fucking complicated questions. What should the ratio be? I have no. That's a really
I'm
complicated
asking you
question.
Yeah, I'm sorry for making conversation. You could just say don't know. to
I don't
anything.
know
What do you
anything.
think it should be?
I have
don't
no
even-
idea. Obviously, it should be
What
enough
would you
that
like it to be?
enough that it helps our country and not so much that it hurts our country.
Okay. I mean, it's just interesting to think where your mind is at right now. Like, when you think of 100 people that are going to come into America this year, what percentage of them do you want to be fucking PhD candidates out of India? And what percentage of them do you want to be migrants out of Haiti? And what percent of them do you want to be, chain migration from fucking Sweden?
I don't know. My guess is right now, I'm pretty sure what we need more than anything is probably low-skilled immigrants. So probably a higher percentage of low-skilled versus highly educated immigrants. That'd be my guess.
Okay. I mean, it's not like a right or wrong. I was just asking you what you think.
Well, it is a right or wrong because based on the actual facts of the matter, I would change my mind based on seeing certain things. So there is a right or wrong answer to this.
So you think that we should get more unskilled labor, just like general migrants, and less, do less brain drain from other countries? That's what you think is the better thing to do? I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just asking.
Well, I don't know. Wait, I'm sorry. What do you mean when you say brain drain?
Brain drain means getting the smartest and brightest.
No, I know what I know what it means. I don't
Then why do you
understand.
say you don't know what it means? Well, what do you mean?
Because we don't need to brain drain people. We have one of the most productive. I think we have the most productive labor force in the entire world, and we got the best colleges in the entire world. People can call from all over the world to the United States to get educated and work. I don't know what you mean by brain drain other countries. We don't need to brain drain other countries, Dan. I don't know what that means. That's what I mean when I say, what do you mean by that? Can you explain what you mean by that?
Okay, yeah, it means the smartest people from other countries, we give them the opportunity to come
We don't need to
here.
give them.
So-
They already come here to get educated or to work here and become millionaires. We don't need to do anything to bring them here. They already come here. We have like the
Yes,
best
through
environment for capital in the world. Yes.
Yeah, through immigration. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but those people already come here. I don't think they're restricted by immigration. If you're a super ultra bright student in Beijing and you want to go to fucking Yale, I don't think you've got problems getting into the United States, do you?
You go through immigration. That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
You don't get to say they already come here. Yeah, no f***ing shit. That's what we're talking about, is what the ratio should be.
Yeah. What ratio? Okay, the ratio should be 5.7 to 100.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we should be having 90% PhD candidates coming in or 90% migrants from Haiti coming in. I mean, obviously,
I think
this
it
is
should
very
be
broad.
15% PhD.
Okay, that's a fair answer. I don't. How much humanitarian stuff do you think that we should do that unlimited? Was that called like asylum seeking?
I think that should
unlimited?
be 8%.
No, I'm not. Just don't be a fucking cunt. All right. I'm asking you, do you think that should be unlimited asylum seeking?
I think it should be unlimited. 6
You know,
billion people.
Just fucking kill yourself. All right. Honestly, I'm done. I've learned everything I need to do.
I think 6
Everything
billion
I need
people
to know.
should be allowed to come here. I think that would be the most humanitarian thing we could do. We should have every person that wants to come seek asylum should come here.
You know what it is? It's just you don't have the answer. That's it. You just don't have anything smart to say, so you're just being a fucking dipshit. And I'm sorry.
That's right. I don't have anything smart to say because I haven't done a
You
ton of
don't.
reading on the subject. That's correct. Yes.
How do you not know anything about immigration? You've been doing politics for f***ing years. You should know all of this shit. The only
Because-
thing you shouldn't know is be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I think there's some agreement that happened in 1956 between what was it? The USSR and the. I don't know. That's the type of shit you don't get to know. Not any of this. You know nothing. You know
True.
nothing.
Based. What do you think the ratio of humanitarian asylum seeking PhD
I think it should be limited.
Really? To what?
A percentage of our existing population, probably.
Humanitarian aid should be limited to a percentage of our
Not
existing
aid,
population.
like the amount of asylum seekers. I don't think it's unlimited. I think like, I
What
think you have to-
what should the
you have to
ratio be?
cap- Well, I mean, I think you have to cap it.
Okay.
Certainly.
That's what a limit means, is a cap, yeah. So what should that cap be at?
Let's say 5% of our total immigration intake per year. I think.
Okay. What should our total intake per year be?
What was it last year?
Probably per capita.
Don't f- with me. All right. You know what? Don't fuck with me. See, here's the thing. I'm actually engaging. You're just a dipshit. Okay? I hate you. I really do. I hate you so much.
What do you think?
changed.
What do you? Wait. Here, actually, I've never looked this up before. You know what? Hold on.
Do you actually not know?
No, wait. Wait. Don't look up. Hold your hands up. Oh,
I'm
he's
not
gonna
looking
cheat,
up.
he's cheating, he's cheating,
I have
he's
my
cheating.
fucking paws in
He's
the air. You too.
I was gonna say we should guess how many people legally immigrated to the United States last year.
Yeah.
I honestly
that's
have
a good
no
thing.
fucking idea. Let's think out loud. Dan's already looked it up. He's Googled it.
I haven't. I
Okay.
have my paws up. I mean, I can't fucking show it to you.
Let's
but
think. Okay, 10 million is way too fucking high. 1 million, maybe. 100,000 seems way too fucking low.
What's the latest population of the United States? Do you know?
I think it's around 330 million. My guess is going to be around 1 million. Could be as high as 5 million.
What are we
10
counting?
million? 10 million
Are we
seems-
counting?
Just legal
tourism
immigrants. Legal
also?
immigrants. No, those are called visas, Dan. Those aren't immigrants. They're tourists. My guess is going to be 1 to 5 million. What's
That's
your
too
guess?
much of a range. You don't get to do that.
Okay, 2.5 million then.
I think 1 million.
How many legal immigrants to USA?
I'm talking
last
about
year?
like full, real shit. Not anything that's like a student. Not anything that's a
Holy,
tourist.
how are my political intuitions just so f***ing good? How are they so good, Dan?
What is it?
In 2022, it was 2.6 million people. God.
What is that? Go in. See what it is. Like, is that students also?
It says authorized
Is it-
immigration to the U.S.
That
No,
doesn't
why
mean
do you
anything.
keep saying students, Dan? Visas are not
Because
immigrants.
authorized immigration is a f***ing tourist. You're authorized to immigrate here temporarily.
You
It's a
think
permanent-
for 90 days? You think that's immigration? Yeah, I've got a
fucking
visa.
hate you.
Oh, I did
I
the
hate
visa
you
waiver
so
program.
much.
Look, I'm an immigrant. Wow, you're an immigrant.
it-
Yeah, I'm an immigrant for 90 days. That's
So
like
you say-
saying
okay,
like
so all this is
yesterday, me and my
permanent.
wife went to hang out. You're like, oh, your wife? Yeah, we were married yesterday because we went out to dinner.
Okay, you know what? I'm actually looking into this, and then hold on. I want to say.
Some people in chat are saying I'm wrong, so maybe you're right. No,
No,
shut
I
up,
don't-
gay guy. Wait, his name is Gay Sheriff. I didn't call him gay. It says excluding tourism and unauthorized arrivals.
Yeah, count. So students are in there, which is probably a huge f***ing part. They all have to f*** off when they're done.
Most people arriving in the U.S. are temp workers, students, or coming to be with their families.
I said permanent. USA permanent immigration stats.
So temp workers. I don't think a temp worker is an immigrant, are they? You'd say you're here on visa.
Okay. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Approximately 285,000 non-citizens obtained lawful permanent resident status in the second quarter of 2023. I'm almost exactly on the fucking nose. So it's like 1 million if you take 285 times 4.
Wait,
That's
what?
like oh my god. I'm a genius. Look. Here, I mean I'll send it to you. Where are you? You're here. There's that, and then the link is this. So it's so it's like 1/3% of our population is legal immigration per year.
Legal Immigration Adjustment Status Report Fiscal Year 2023, Quarter 2. $285,000 non-citizens obtained lawful permanent resident status in the second quarter.
I mean, there could be something like they only give visas out in the end of the year too, so maybe I could be wrong on that.
Well, visa wouldn't make you an immigrant.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, they're saying, hey, 285,000 people became a citizen this month, or sorry, this quarter.
What
there
lawful?
might
Wait,
be-
real quick. Lawful permanent resident. That means you get your green card, right?
It means that you have the opportunity to stay here forever, I think.
Yeah,
As
but
long
that's
as you
your
keep
green card.
Yeah. As long as you keep following the correct path. Like, there's a path to stay here forever, as long as you don't fuck it up. It's different than like a H-1B. Like an H-1B, there is no guaranteed path that you can stay here forever, I think.
Yeah. What? Yes. You get a green card. The green card gets renewed like every 2 years or 5 years or some bullshit. But then.
But you're at the mercy of the corporation and everything along those lines, I think.
No. I think once you get a green card, you're a lawful. That's why it's lawful permanent resident. If you have a green card, you've got a green card forever.
I'm talking about an H-1B.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
Isn't an H-1B technically a green card?
No. Green card is your resident card. That means you're a lawful permanent resident in the U.S. as long as you continue to live here, and you renew it when you need to.
I'm just looking it up. So an H-1B is a non-immigrant classification. Okay, yeah, so an H-1B has to be stepped up to a green card.
Yeah, H-1B, that's just a work visa. A visa allows you to enter a country legally for some period of time to do whatever the visa specifies you're allowed to do. So it'll be restricting actions, it'll be restricting time frame. And then when you get your green card in the United States, you're a permanent resident, meaning you, as long as you renew it, and I think you have to update the government, I think where you live or whatever, for a green card, I think. That might just be for your application, but yeah, you're allowed to stay here forever, basically. And then once you have a green card and you've waited, I think it's 2 or 3 years, maybe it depends on how you got your green card, you're allowed to apply to be a citizen.
Okay, so every year, let's just assume every quarter is roughly the same. I don't know if it is, because as I was saying before, it could be some wild shit, like the US issues 90% of its fucking green cards in the fourth quarter or something, but assuming it's the same per quarter. So we're doing 1 million legal permanent immigrants per year. So 1/3% we take in. And then for visas, well, I guess visas don't matter because those would be factored into the end result. So even if we had a fucking, any amount of H-1Bs coming in, we only have 1 million total people per year becoming a permanent citizen, or permanent resident, I should say. I wonder how many people become a citizen per year. And if that's much different than this number, it should be mostly the same, minus like
I don't know how many
small...
people move from green cards to citizens. I don't know how desirable that is for a person. I'm not sure.
Let's see. Okay, it's not too much. It's about a 10%, 20% drop off. So about 900,000 new citizens per year. Interesting.
That's when we have to take like all the...
Yeah, you do like the tests and all the other shit.
Yeah, and you gotta like answer the, which president would you fuck and all that, yeah.
I don't think that's a question. What would be your answer? Hold on, I gotta go look at all the past presidents. 1 second.
I want that BBC.
You're so fucking cringe. Oh my god.
I think I get a Red Bull 1 sec.
Yeah. My god. Well. Arslan Ali. H-1B is a visa, not a green card. Yeah, no shit. Welcome to something that we said 8 minutes ago, bro. What other crazy drama is going on in your life right now?
Honestly, the past 2 years of my life have been pretty low drama, I'm gonna be honest. I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of debating.
The past 2 years?
I think so. I don't think anything, ever since Lav and Mr. Girl, hasn't really been...
That was in the last 2 years.
When did the Lav Mr. Girl stuff end? I thought that was like 2.5... Wait, how long have I lived in this apartment? For like a year and a half?
Holy Jesus, bro. Your spatial awareness is going out the window.
How long have I lived in this apartment? It's been a year and a half, right?
You can probably answer that question.
I feel like the Lav and Mr. Girl shit peaked like halfway through my lease in the last apartment.
Wasn't like Lav talking to you like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, but this is not the Mr. Girl Lav stuff.
Well, let's see when the Mr. Girl manifesto came out.
That came out like a year after everything.
That
Mr.
was 12
Girl,
months ago.
Destiny, Lav. Yeah, so then so it would have been like 2 years ago.
I don't think so. I think it was like a year and a half ago.
Boses, Mr. Girl.
Well, go on your YouTube channel.
November 11th, 2022. What are we at right now? 2024?
Yeah.
We're like a year and a half ago?
Oh, good. Exactly like I said.
Yeah, I feel like everything since then has been pretty boring.
Feel like it's been more and more insane every day, and I don't know how you don't see it.
What has been more insane than the Mr. Girl Lab arc?
I remember about a year ago, I was like, it is getting fucking wild up in this shit. You have Keffals and the entire trans community trying to kill you. You have Mr. Girl trying to kill you. It's wild.
Wait, when did I thought Keffals was before the Mr. Girl Lab shit, or was it not?
I don't know.
remember.
That was
well,
around
it's
the
important.
time.
Well, yeah, but it's all.
Okay, I don't know. Let's look it up then. I don't know. But I'm saying I feel like it only gets more and more insane, which is good for you. But you know, I feel like
Keffals
you're
was a few
downplaying-
months before Mr. Girl Lab stuff. Yeah, true.
So when was the Keffel stuff then?
Before I just said it. Keffals was a few months before Mr. Girl Lab stuff.
Yeah, what date? I mean,
I don't know. Wasn't it around when I got banned?
when was the Keffel's manifesto?
Substack, internet,
October
terrorism.
2022, right? No, wait. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
No. Yes. October 2022. So a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So that would make Mr. Girl stuff a year ago, since that was a few months after that, right?
I already read the Mr. Girl stuff. That was November.
Yeah, I just feel like it's gotten more and more exciting in your life, more dangerous, more frisky.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting and dangerous, but like because of I think professional related stuff, not because of random drama stuff.
Where do you think the next year is going for you?
I don't know. Good
Make a
question.
prediction for, let's see, November 2024. Give me some wild things that you think might happen. that people
Why
are
do you
gonna be like,
ask
"You're
me the most
crazy."
impossible questions? I have no idea. Anything could
I
happen.
know you don't
Who
have an
the fuck
idea.
knows?
That's why it's a guess. That's a
I don't
guess.
know. These are boring. This is like, what do you think if the star were to crash into the Earth? Would Halo
No,
come and
that's what
save us?
fucking Nathan
I don't know what
asked
the
you.
I don't know.
know,
My kid is 13, not 4. No, what do you mean?
Okay, let me give
Wow.
you a real answer. I would guess that by November, I would think that probably once a week I'll be on like a CNN or an NBC once a week.
Me?
I think that
Me?
is probably
No, I
gonna
don't think
happen.
so. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Okay.
I think also, you see, this is how you do it, by the way. You say things along those lines.
Okay, well, mainstream appearances are boring as fuck. So,
Oh, yeah, anything to get new viewers. We're not going to do that. Because you do a lot of boring shit to get new viewers.
like what?
I don't know. Go on people's boring podcasts. No?
The podcast I've restricted. No, I think it was like 6 or 8 months ago. I was saying I'm not going to go on like small random shit anymore because it's just like
so
eating way
only
too much of my
big
time.
things then, so only like TV shows where you're exposed to like millions of
Not
people. Got
TV
it.
show. Okay, what are my last few appearances? We've talked to
I
Candace
said
Owens.
CNN, NBC, shit like
we've
that,
done
once a
2
week.
Piers Morgan's appearances. We've talked to Norm Finkelstein and had Benny Morris on a couple times. I'm setting up a combo with Shlomo Ben-Ami. We've talked to Jordan Peterson. We just did a documentary with Turkey Tom. We just did a conversation with Ben Shapiro. We've done these are all, they're not TV shows.
I understand that. So you don't
We had
think,
Cenk on twice.
So you don't believe there's
Presidential
no
candidate.
world that you think in the future that you're going to be like a commentary guest showing up on election night on Fox News giving your thoughts on
Fuck no.
who's going to be winning.
And
Really?
if they
So
want me
you-
on for like 3 minutes, sure. But why would I go
no,
onto Fox
hold on.
News where I don't get paid to do the most boring, dry commentary ever when
All right,
I
you're
could
not
be
listening.
on?
You're not listening. That's fine. That's fine. Maybe I can put this into some sort of words that you can understand. Hey, Steve. In the future, do you think you might do like 2 or 3 minute like interviews at least once a week? You think like big,
Maybe.
big
Yeah, that's
networks are
possible.
gonna-
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you think that might happen? Which is what I fucking asked in the first place. You
Yeah,
stupid
that could
fuck.
happen. Yes.
Yes, I know. So that would be a good prediction for where you might be in November. Being on the television once a week. Wow, that's pretty fucking crazy that might happen. You know,
No, that's not crazy. What's crazy is I'm letting them have me. Okay. Fuck that.
you are. You know what this reminds me? when
No,
you
hold
say
on,
that?
no. You know what this reminds me of? You know what's so cringe? Is for a long
Yes.
time, I remember this happened in the esports world. I don't know, I'm sure it affects all the games, but I remember especially in StarCraft and a little bit in League, where people were always like, oh my god, we're gonna be in the professional world, people are gonna be watching on TV, oh, we're gonna be in traditional media. But traditional media sucks. them, okay? I like it where I'm at on the internet. You know what? If they want to borrow me for a little bit so I can go enrich their platforms, that's fine. But the goal is not to jump onto like mainstream and be mainstream. The goal is to continue to grow my platform here. I think that's way more exciting. I think it's more fun. The conversations are better.
Hey,
Yeah.
Who asked?
Your
no
mom,
one
she
said
just
that
texted
was
me.
the case.
She just said, "Can you please call out my son
on?
on his stupid fucking
Oh
points?"
my
And I'm like,
God.
"Yes, Mrs.
I just said,
Sullivan, I'll do
what
it."
do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think will be different around November, December? And I think
Yes,
what will be
I
different-
imagine the caliber of people I'm talking to will probably continue to grow, although it can't grow that much more. And then, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving my prediction now because you seem incapable of giving an actual one without clarifying it and just being stupid.
Okay.
I think that around the end of the year, that you're going to be going on big TV shows. It may just be for 3 or 5 minutes. That's fine. But I think you're going to be doing that every week. I think you're going to be having conversations with bigger and bigger people. I think that Kick or Keep, the podcast you have, I think everything you have will probably end. All of it, because you're going to do nothing but probably doing full-time focus on political punditry. And it's going to be fucking miserable. And you think you're going to grow a lot as a result of it. And yeah, that's my prediction. That's where I think we're probably going. By the end of the year, you're going to be like a... what's a good word? I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know. Anyways, that's my guess. So what's your guess of what you think? Mostly that or completely opposite? Because I know what it isn't. It's not like, Dan, we're going to be playing COD probably 30 hours a week, dropping W's.
Maybe. You know what? Maybe I'll have an epiphany and I'll be like, you know what? I actually, now that I'm on Vyvanse, I think I can get Diamond. I think we can go big in League. Maybe I will do another
yes,
League arc.
you
Maybe
know
that's what we need
There's-
every night. You
there's
know
too
what?
much
Do I have it
attention on you.
installed on my computer right now?
I'll take it. I'll take it. You know what? Normally I hate League, and I'm a #1 League hater. Let's just take this down a little bit, okay? There's a little bit too many chatters that I don't recognize. There's a little bit too much attention and eyeballs and optics. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think, and I hate to say it, I don't even think you could hit gold right now within a
up.
week. You just don't know the meta anymore. You're too
You're trying
old.
so hard and it's so...
I don't give a shit. I've never played that
Cringe.
stupid
Oh
fucking
my
game in
God,
my
you're
life.
trying so
but
hard
do
to bait
admit
me.
that you are old. You're
I'm
old.
not old.
You're gonna be 40.
However old
you're
I
gonna
am,
be-
I'll always
you're
be
gonna
5 years
40
younger
soon.
than you, Dan.
Yeah, but you're gonna be 40 soon. You know
Yep.
that. You know you're
And then when I
closer to
think of
40
how
right
bad
now
I am, I'll look at you and I'll
than
be
to
like, at least
20.
I'm not as old as that guy.
You're closer to 40 than you're closer to 50.
I'm gonna show
than
up
to
at
20.
your funeral
Oh my God, Steven, you are closer
with
to
a
50
giant
than 20.
sombrero. We're gonna be dancing
How
on
does
your
that make
grave.
you feel? Does it make you feel old?
I
Like
feel-
you don't
yes.
have it anymore. Like it's grandpa trying
I feel
to
so
keep up
old,
in
yes.
league.
Yep.
He's out there like trying to think like fucking Draven's still the meta and all this other shit. Everyone's laughing at him. Who's this fucking moron out here picking this? No one's banning his champ and he doesn't understand why.
Wow, you
'Cause you
got
don't
it
get it.
perfectly. Nice.
I did. That's pretty much all of the league knowledge that I have, by the way.
Yeah.
Like absorbed from osmosis right before I mute your stream and do something else.
Base.
Says the guy who can't protect his base and rest. I am unrateable 24/7. I control my server, and I always will.
I'm gonna lose.